back to work today. Excited, obviously, about the bowl game and getting selected yesterday and getting to stay in Texas and play a Texas team. Going to Dallas is always fun. It's a great venue there at Ford Stadium. It's Ford Stadium, right? Yes. Gerald Ford Stadium. It's cool. So yeah, we're really excited. Our players were ecstatic yesterday here in the team meeting, and I think it's great because a lot of their families and friends get to come and watch them play, and I think obviously Bobcat Nation is excited getting to stay in Texas, and I really believe it's going to be a packed out stadium, largely due to the Bobcat fans. Obviously, so I think it's an exciting time, and our guys are fired up, coaches are fired up, and so I'm fired up.
What was your initial reaction to whenever you heard? Were you overcome with emotion like the players, or is it more of you're getting your joy from seeing all those guys just go crazy? What was that like?
Yeah, I kind of knew for a little bit, so I kind of knew what was going on, but I was really excited the first time I heard it. Once again, for me, just staying in Texas, getting to play an in-state team. Obviously with the SMU game, I didn't know if that would trickle down and cause some issues for us, but like he said last night, it didn't, and so I was really excited, and I was. Like you said, I think seeing the team yesterday and the way they reacted to it, I mean, you could tell they were fired up. Sometimes I've been a part of bowl games where like, kind of like fake juice. There was some real juice in here yesterday, so that was cool.
What's the schedule going to look like for your team leading up? You got 3 weeks before the game. How often are you going to practice?
So this next week will just be straight academics. We'll be just finishing up finals and doing all that. And if they're done with their finals, go home, see their family for a little bit, and then we'll bring them in that next week and get started.
And you mentioned last night that it's an ideal matchup. Team in Texas, staying in Texas so fans can travel.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about that a little bit and why that was important in this whole bowl process?
Yeah, I think there's just a little extra juice anytime you get to play an in-state team. We recruit against Rice. Some of these kids probably wanted to go to Rice, and vice versa. I'm sure there's some guys on our roster that they recruited. So it's one of those deals where I think that's always exciting. It's an American team. That's always fun to play the American team, the Sun Belt versus American rivalry that goes on. What else? I think it's a cool team. The Bailiff Bowl, hashtag the Bailiff Bowl.
We'll get it started.
Yeah, I like it.
We kind of touched upon it last night, but how important is it, being up in DFW, considering like so many players are from the DFW, including yourself too?
Yeah, no, that part's huge. Getting to play in Dallas, I think just getting to play in a bowl game. You look around, a lot of teams, whether it's in Texas or teams that we recruit against, aren't in a bowl game. So getting to play that bowl game in Dallas is huge. It's on ESPN, and so a lot of people will be tuned in, and just a great deal. And everything happens so fast. This year since I've been hired and all that, it'll be one of those deals after it kind of calms down and you're able to relax a little bit after recruiting that just really appreciate kind of what happened this year and get an opportunity to play in a bowl game in Texas, and so it's exciting.
We're almost approaching a year with you being hired. Y'all set the goal. One of the lists y'all wanted to accomplish was make it to the bowl game. How good does it feel like seeing like the hard work that y'all paid off, hitting the recruiting trail, transfer portal, getting those 7 wins? How good does it feel to finally see like the hard work y'all put in finally come to fruition? Yeah,
I think obviously on a couple notes, just bringing the team together, I think was really cool to see after bringing in that many new guys and kind of putting a plan together that maybe was a little bit different, maybe a little bit unique. I think me and Deion Sanders, kind of got a lot of the pub and brought in a lot of guys, and we were able to get to that bowl game. And you'll see, a a lot of teams are going to try to do it this year. You know, we were kind of on the front end of that deal. So you'll probably see a lot of people try to copycat, and good luck. It's not easy. So it's that part's not easy for sure. So I think that was cool. You know, anytime you get to, you know, kind of set a trend is always cool. And then, you know, just bringing the guys together and going out there and winning games in the Sun Belt, just like Summerall said the other day, it's like you know, the G5 SEC. You know, I really believe that it's a really good league. It's a really good league, and congrats to him, by the way. I texted him. That's big time. But the West winning, that's cool. So yeah, just a lot of excitement this year. I don't think it ever dies down in college football. Like I know I talked about when it dies down recruiting nowadays with the portal and all that. Like it just never dies. So it's fun.
I know you've got a ton of experience playing over at SMU back when the old CUSA days, I guess. Just what are some of your favorite memories playing at Ford Stadium?
The CUSA, I haven't heard of that. The commentary say, okay. I actually played Little League games there. So I played Little League games there. That was cool. Went to a couple of junior days there, like the Rivals.com junior day was there. Tom Lemmings was there. So I have a lot of cool memories at that stadium. Like I said, it was my first GA job there. Obviously, when I was at Tulsa, we played there, I think, once when I played, and then I traveled one time when I sat out. So that was cool. So yeah, a lot of history there, and you know, born in Mesquite and grew up there until my dad got the job at Canton. So spent a lot of time in that area, and so yeah, it'll be awesome for me. I'll have a ton of family there, a ton of friends there, and so I'm excited for sure.
We saw Eric Stevens announce that he's no longer on staff. Was that a mutual decision, or did one party have more of a say, or what happened with that?
Yeah, I think I love Coach Stevens. I love his family. He's been awesome for the Bobcats, and you know, our running backs had an awesome year this year. You look at Ish and what Denario did, and Calvin and Jeter, and obviously you know, him tutoring whatever that word is, Lincoln, you know. So, you know, college football is it's one of those crazy businesses. So I wish him nothing but the best, and love Eric and his family.
Are you trying to look for a replacement before the bowl game, or how's that process going?
We'll see. You know, I want to get the right guy. Talk to a couple people and kind of see where that goes.
You talked a little bit about the transfer portal and how you guys focused on that with recruiting. You know, the transfer portal opens today.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to hit it as hard this year? Are you going to maybe not 39 transfers like you did, but how hard are you looking to hit it?
Never say never. You know, I don't want to put a number on it. Just like always, it's a fluid deal just with the roster and all that kind of stuff. But we'll kind of see how it goes. Feel good about the high school class. We've got to get those guys signed and finish up strong there. And then, you know, I think the same thing just based off today and the transfers that have already got the grad guys and people that their coaches got let go or got other jobs. You know, there's some good Texas kids in there. So obviously we're going to target those kids first.
You know, what about the inverse of that, where you have guys hopping into the portal? Have you had conversation with anybody? expecting anything there?
No conversations yet. I'm sure we'll have, you know, a couple, but I feel pretty good about where we stand.
About Rice, the Rice Owls coming up 6-6 this season. Looks like they might be without their quarterback. You know, no, it's early, just got announced yesterday. But what's your scout on them?
Man, I haven't got to watch a ton of film. Watched a little bit yesterday. We'll see. I don't want to comment too much on it just because I haven't got a full evaluation yet. I know the quarterback that's playing, I recruited him a little bit. I know he's a really good player. I got to see him live versus Tulsa. I watched the Tulsa game. It was like a Saturday game that I watched it whenever it was. You know, the multiple on offense, obviously the McCaffrey kid is super talented and put up a bunch of yards. Defensive line looks pretty big, just off what I've seen so far. I know they'll be really well coached, very multiple on offense, a lot of personnel groupings. You know, it's not just going to be kind of like us, a 10, 11, 12. They're going to be all kinds of fullbacks and running backs and tight ends and all kinds of stuff. So that's always a challenge for you. So that's pretty much what I know so far.
You mentioned the Bailiff Bowl. Have you talked to him
Yeah.
at all about it?
Yeah.
Is he excited to play Rice?
Oh yeah, heck yeah, he's excited.
You know, with this being the first ever bowl game Texas ever playing, can you talk about the significance of Texas State? You know, even though like 2014, 2013 they were bowl eligible, just weren't selected, but this year finally being able to play in this bowl game, what does it mean to this program and the university?
I think it means a lot. You know, it's kind of like one of those deals where right now you can't really wrap your mind around just because you're so busy doing this and doing that. But one of those deals at the end of the season, kind of sit back and really reflect on how special this season was and what it means to everyone involved. So, you know, I think we have an incredible fan base, incredible university, and like I've texted you a couple of times, man. That was part of the reason I wanted to come here was to do that, for everyone involved, and I'm just blessed to be here and excited to be here, and I think this is just the foundation year. This is expect more and more and more every year.
After the announcement was made, how many people have you heard from in terms of fellow players of this program, your friends in the coaching business?
Yeah.
Former coach. I know you mentioned Coach Bailey.
Yeah.
In addition to that, how many have you heard from, and who are some of the ones that kind of stood out?
Quite a few people. I think probably more once we got that bowl eligibility and jumping in the river and all that. A bunch of people reaching out, but trying to think. I always talk to Traylor, talk to him quite a bit. That's probably the most notable, I guess. I don't know. Trying to think who else. I think that's it.
On the idea of how much it means to the program, has that kind of bled into the players? So many opt-outs these days in college football for bowl games. Does how much it means to this program, is that kind of felt by the players who do?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a great opportunity for guys, and I'm sure just like everywhere, we'll have some guys, not playing the bowl game, but that's part of college football now, and I always want people that want to be here, and we're going to coach those guys up hard, and I think playing in a bowl game is still a really special thing, especially the one we're in, and getting to play a in-state rival. So I don't know if they're in-state rival, in-state school. We can make it a rivalry. How about that? There you go.
The college football playoff, there's a lot made about it yesterday with Florida State being left out. How do you feel about that whole situation?
Man, that's a good question. I like these questions. We can keep going. Obviously I know Norvell pretty well. He was our receiver coach at Tulsa. He was a GA, then he was our receiver coach, and so I have a really good relationship with Norvell, and so I really felt for him. I did, man. I really felt for him and his players. And anytime you go undefeated and you don't get in, I think that's tough. But I see the other side of it too, so it's a tough deal. I just really feel for him and his players.
You think it's a good case for expansion?
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure. I think needs to be more teams in, and you look at Florida State and Georgia. If they got in, I mean, who's to say Georgia couldn't win this thing? This year. So I think there needs to be more teams in. You see like a Liberty, they're undefeated. I'd like to see them get in, give it a shot. Just like Boise State back in the day when they would get in and beat a team. You never know who can win it all without giving an opportunity. Trying to think who else. I think like Troy. I think Troy could get in there and bang with a lot of these guys. So I think it's always cool to have those stories, get a Cinderella in there, throw them in there and see what happens.
More questions for Kenny's Corner? College football?
I like it. What we got? Something else?
All good?
You want to keep it?
Yeah, come on.
I know
Let's
there was
go.
a lot of hoopla made about Liberty, being undefeated, but despite the strength of schedule. And then I know a lot of SMU fans were upset. They played the two power teams in
Yeah.
non-conference, but they, weren't, I guess, rewarded. How do you feel about the situation about Liberty getting it and SMU kind of getting snubbed for that?
Yeah, I think Liberty went undefeated. I think they did their job. That's what they that's all they could do. I think it'd be opinion after that. Just the eyeball test. I think SMU would beat those guys. I think Troy would beat all three of them. So, or both of them. So.
And I know there's a lot of folks like kind of in the Sun Belt community that feels like the Sun Belt's not getting enough respect. You know, Troy wasn't even really mentioned about for that New Year's Six. What does this, I guess, the Sun Belt need to do to continue to prove themselves that this is the top 5 G5 conference in the nation?
Yeah, I think, you know, you look at our records against the P5s. You look how many bowl eligible teams we have. It's a really good league with really good coaches. So I think we just got to keep on doing what we're doing, and it'll happen for us here pretty soon. Hopefully it's us next year.